Hey traders, it's Jeff again with another video on setup 2 this time. This is probably the easiest setup to understand, and it's a classic supply and demand setup, and we've kind of juiced it up a little bit with the use of volume clusters. So we'll just go through it real quick. Again, like setup 1, we're going to have all markups present, evening and morning routine followed. If this is not done, no trade, okay? Then you check the DXY and check we're not trading against zones. So if you remember from the last video, we're also using DXY for bias, okay? Along with other things. So let's check DXY. What do we have? What's the general situation in the morning on the 26th? We're getting some accumulation sideways. And we have this daily swing low. That's a clear liquidity target. Okay, been heading downtrend all day, all week, and we accumulate in the morning, and we have this daily swing low. So we have a clear down bias for Dixie, which means up bias for GU. So we're all clear there. So next step, note the M15 order flow direction, be aware of surrounding levels and pivot points, and don't go against these. So GU, what's the general situation? Okay, now this H1 and H4 demand, these are future demand zones, okay, because they take out supply zones the next day, but we don't know that yet, so we have to delete these, and we just go on what we have. Okay, so we have our up bias. We have this huge H1 FVG Asia low here, and we're going to be trading in the morning around here. Okay, so H1 FVG, if you remember, is a trading zone. We can trade off this. And for setup 2, we don't need a key level break at all. We just need supply and demand and some kind of break of liquidity and test of a supply and demand zone. So if we get a bit more granular in the 5 minute, what do we see? Trend line and break of structure. So where you got to identify the demand in 5 minute, the break structure, and it appears to be around here. Okay. Now, there is some hindsight bias here because we know what's happening, but this trade was taken in advance. This is just for demonstration purposes. So this is M5 demand, okay? Cannot type. M5 demand. Alright, so now we're using VCs. So what is a VC? It's a volume cluster, and what we're looking for is abnormal volume on a particular level. By abnormal we mean higher volume. So higher volume on a level tends to indicate structure. Okay, so what do we have? What I'm noticing is this 133. Everything else is like 3s, 13s, 5s, 11, and we have this bigger one, 133, 550. So that corresponds to 250. Okay, that's down close candle. So we can mark that out, and it appears to be about halfway. Okay, so we'll call that our volume cluster, and it's within M5 demand. Okay, you can't see it's called a VC until we open up a bit, but there you see. Okay, so halfway down this down close candle, okay? And that represents structure, okay? And if you go back in time, you can see indeed it is a structural level. Yeah, so there you have a lot of volume being placed. So that becomes our trading level for setup 2. Okay. So wait for M1, M5 to form basing, and then break of horizontal structure. Mark this as a trading zone. Note VC, volume cluster within the zone, and pinpoint area within zones. So we've done that. We've got our M5 demand. It's tested. It breaks horizontal structure. Perfect. And we have this run on liquidity twice. Okay. We have this liquidity above here, taken. And this liquidity above the trend line, taken. So we're at the charts here. We're seeing this breakout in the morning, and then we're returning down, and we're at the screen hopefully by 6 a.m. and this is a quick one. We're in demand now, and we're on our VC, if you see it here. Okay, so we retest 820, which is 620 here. That's the retest. So that's it. That's your trading level. Okay, M5 demand takes liquidity twice, retests this volume cluster, which is structure, and you can enter straight on there. Okay. Let's check our order flow. Wait for the fake out, break of trend line away from the order flow of the day so far. So indeed, we're kind of trending down, and it breaks out against the order flow of the day, and it comes down. Test this VC, and there we have our entry. Either here, I actually took it here. You know, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. Let's say 5 pips all lost. This is a real trade. We actually have it recorded. What else do we have here? We also have like this little M5 FAG that happens to support Asia low, but we don't actually get to Asia low. We don't need key levels in this setup. All we have is our fake out, breaks horizontal structure. We've identified the demand, and we pinpointed the structure within the demand, and there is a retest on relatively low volume. Okay, we see declining volume 123, 168, 121. So it's going down compared to the bullish volume, which is in the 400s. So very, very easy setup to do. I entered here, and as you can see, it did a bit of a stop hunt. You know, people enter here, it comes back, stop hunts. But if you've got your 5 or 6 pip stop loss, you're fine. Even with your 2 or 3 pip stop loss, you're alright. It just depends how aggressive you want to be. I would place it below this M5 FVG, and away you go. Choose your target. I went for yesterday's high, right there. You could go, I mean, this one rockets. If you think Dixie is going down to this daily swing low, which it does, you could hold that with the expectation of it going up, but 50 pips and a 20 hour should be enough. Don't know what this is. Anyway, that's just a very quick demo of setup 1. Sorry, setup 2. Very easy setup, classic supply and demand, and with the added magic of volume clusters, which shows you the exact structure, and retest on low volume and breakout. There we go. Very, very clean, easy setup. Any questions on this? DM me, Jeff C on Discord. This is just a very basic example. We're gonna have a lot better ones. I think this isn't the clearest of setup 2s, but it's there. Clear M5 demand with basing, breakout, leg out, break of horizontal structure, and trend line. So 2 breaks of liquidity, comes down on lower volume, tests the demand, VC within, volume cluster within the demand, and away we go. Okay, and I'll just show that volume cluster again. 133, kind of abnormally high volume. If you go back and check this level, there's a lot of volume that occurs at this level, so we know it's structure. Okay, it's supporting price. You can see that. So that's it. That's setup 2. It couldn't be easier. I think with VCs, I don't think you need confirmation, but if you want to be safe, I think you can just go for that if it's on low volume. Before in setup 2, I would say wait for one of the 3 confirmations. You can choose to trade directly from the VC if you're aggressive. Wait for PA confirmation, which would be like a 3-bar reversal, or say wait for an imbalance to develop and retest away from the volume cluster. That would be the safest. So let's say you don't want to enter on the VC, it's a bit aggressive. Well, you have this big bullish candle and a refill, perfect refill on M5 of this imbalance. So you could enter anywhere here. And away you go, 50 pips. Could not be easier. I think this is the easiest setup of the entire CT model. Usually it works better in 6-7:30 Frankfurt session. So this is the one you want to focus on if you're like a before work trader and you want to fit something in. This use of volume clusters really is a game changer for me. I absolutely love it. So try and study it. It takes a little bit of time to master. I find it works best on M5. Like to use it on M5, but you can then go into M1 to get more granular with your entry. Forgive me, this is going to take a little bit of time. Go to 26. And that's what it looks like on M1. You have your VC. I enter here. Comes down, hunts the stops. We're still in. I think I'd set my stop loss to break even, but recognizing that this was a hunt, I just went straight back in. GU is just going to do this. It's going to hunt your stop loss. My general model is to put your stop loss to break even at 10 pips, just to be safe. If you're taken out, then you have to recognize that this is a stop hunt and then just go for it. I know it's going to be difficult for some people. You just have to trust in it. Use one of the safer entries on M5 like I pointed out. Use the imbalance and you should be fine. If you have any questions on this, let me know. But I think this is quite an easy setup, and the use of volume clusters really changed the game for me. So hopefully I can show more examples of this in the future. But for now, thank you for watching, and I wish you a great weekend.